You already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Yes, you are listening to the Beat 105.5 live, coming to you live from the Rock Pawnbroker Studio. Welcome to another show of the Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, talking sports of all sorts. Buffalo 10, we're almost coming up on that anniversary, May 14th, 2022. We will never be forgotten. The show is always dedicated to the Buffalo 10 week in and week out. Keep in mind, each week, please, we stream live from the Rock Pawnbroker Studios. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show, where we're talking sports of all sorts. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Facebook at Real Deal Sports Show. It costs you nothing, but means everything to us. So hit the like button and subscribe button. Hit those buttons. Let people know you listen to the show. You may not catch us 8 to 9 a.m. live, but you're catching us sometime during the week. So hit that like button and subscribe button. Click the bell for notifications as well. Remember, Real Deal Sports Show. Subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and at the Real Deal Sports Show. We talking sports of all sorts. We got the co-host right here with us, J-GILLZ. Welcome to another week, man. These weeks are just piling up, moving quickly, aren't they, J-GILLZ?
Hey, good morning, Rad Man. Good morning, Beat family. Oh my God, man, what a phenomenal week of sports. You got the NBA playoffs happening right now. You got the NFL draft happening right now. It's just an elite week of sports for all those sports enthusiasts. Stay locked and loaded for the Real Deal Sports Show, where you ain't gonna get it from nowhere else.
Absolutely, and let's get right to it. Buffalo Bills, they didn't surprise the Rad Man. I told you, hey, watch for them stay in place. One thing I didn't know, and one thing that wasn't reported by the local media or the national media, is that the Bills did not have any money. I've been saying they haven't had money in my articles, and I'm the sports editor of Challenger Community News. Read my articles in the Challenger newspaper each week. I got it documented in article after article in the last few weeks, the last few months after the Super Bowl ended and the new season started. The Bills didn't have any money. They still don't have any money. They didn't have money for a first-round draft pick because, remember, those comes in tiers. Anybody drafted in the first round is guaranteed a certain amount of money. Second round, third round, fourth round, and so on and so forth, they're guaranteed a certain amount of money. The Bills, if they would have taken that one of those guys in the first round, that would have messed up their money on the back end. So they had to get out of the first round. Their main game plan was to get out of the first round, save that money, use it in the second through the seventh round. And keep in mind, Brandon Beane seems to be a good guru from the fifth, fourth round on. He seems to really be good at drafting quality players overall. Gabe Davis was picked in the fourth round. People don't realize that, but Gabe Davis was a fourth round draft pick by the Buffalo Bills. Khalil Shakir in the fifth round. Khalil Shakir started. These guys are starters on this team. So Brandon Beane has a very good track record from the fourth round to the seventh round of picking starters, guys that can start on this football team. And I think he started yesterday with Keon Coleman from Florida State in the second round. He's not the fastest guy, but he can make room. He can go up for the ball. J-GILLZ, your comments on Keon Coleman?
Absolutely. And to that point, Radman, we got to acknowledge as well that right now, as the Bills are sitting at $2.8 million in cap space, bottom 3, bottom 4, bottom 5, actually, in the NFL right now, along with the Dolphins right there sitting at $2.9 million cap space. And the Bills will be getting that extra $10 million after June 1st with the release of Tre'Davious White, cornerback, former cornerback, first-round pick of the Buffalo Bills. So that $10 million will help that team sign those undrafted free agents, sign those 10 draft picks that they have. Like, they've got a busy day today as day 3 will begin and commence at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So they'll still have a little bit of money to dabble with because the Dolphins are in the same situation. We were able to get Chop Robinson from in our first round pick. We got that Xavier Howard money coming right after June 1st. But when you talk about a guy like Keon Coleman, right receiver from Florida, Florida Atlantic, I think that he definitely has the size. He's physical. He's young. He's cheap, as you stated. So all in all, from the inside from the field to the front office, I think that he'll be a great fit for this Buffalo Bills offense. Clearly a void at receiver. This is one of the bigger targets that Josh Allen will have had in his career, similar to like a Gabe Davis minus the speed. Big possession guy, kind of like a Gabe Davis replacement opposed to that Stephon Diggs replacement. But it's still a couple days to go, and still a lot of receivers left. Still great open market with Odell Beckham and Tyler Boyd and those guys available post June 1st. So I think Keon Coleman's an ideal fit. Buffalo Bills wanted a receiver. The fans, Mafia, wanted a receiver. They got what they wanted, so the front office got away scotch-free with that one. And I think ultimately this guy will be a good fit for Josh Allen.
I think so too. And keep in mind, he's a guy like Gabe Davis in the sense that you throw it up to him, you throw it to that area. He doesn't have to be as accurate as he has with a Stephon Diggs per se. Throw it up in that area like Gabe Davis used to do, go up and get the ball, and this kid can go up and get it. And he has enough speed. They say he's lacking in speed, but heck, man, the guy, all the guy need to do is make plays, man. This is a guy that made a lot of plays at Florida State. He played for the Seminoles there at Florida State. This guy can make some plays. And keep in mind, once you said that money's released, the Bills could pick up a veteran receiver, maybe some other guys that you, two of the guys you named there. But there's a lot of guys that'll be out on the open market as the season begins and into the once the season starts. That's where a lot of these veterans wait until the season starts now to go to a team or request a tryout with a football team. So keep in mind, there's a lot of options, but Bean has to keep it moving, and he did. He went to, I like that Cooper guy, but once again, Cooper Gene out of Iowa, I thought they were going to go with him right away, but I guess they said no. He didn't want to have the fans blowing him up and maybe doing backflips on his car and stuff in the parking lot out there at One Bills Drive. So he went ahead and did the safe thing by taking the wide receiver. Said he consulted with Josh Allen on it, and Josh Allen liked this kid of the receivers available. So they decided to go with him. Then he went to address the safety position with Cole Bishop. Cole Bishop out of Utah. Played against Dalton Kincaid, practiced with Dalton Kincaid. They played together on the University of Utah football team. Good hard-hitting guy, typical prototype that the Bills like, a hard-hitting type safety. He'll probably get in on the safety play, kickoffs, and things of that nature as well. And then the next pick was Dewayne Carter from Duke. He'll be in there helping out. He'll be one of those guys you switch in to give Ed Oliver, some of those guys, a little breather. He'll come in, and hopefully Dewayne Carter can make some plays. Not a flashy guy, but plays. He might end up being a nose guard as well, helping Daquan Jones out as well, but most likely more of an Ed Oliver, a down defensive tackle. The Bills need bodies, and that's what they're going after today, more bodies. They did it yesterday with these three, and they got a chance to get some more guys later today, and I think you're going to see them the roster's starting to fill out with these young guys. But then I'm looking at the undrafted free agents, J-GILLZ, and I think the Dolphins are too. Teams that have cap trouble and serious cap situations, they're going to have to fill out the roster with undrafted free agents. Right, J-GILLZ?
Absolutely. I mean, the Bills, a busy day today. 6 picks. I believe 4 in the fifth round, 3 in the fifth round, something like that.
Yeah.
Right where Brandon B does his dirty work. You know what I mean? So he definitely is stocked up and ready to go, trying to seek and find those talented players to just cover the team from the detrimental losses that they've had earlier in the season. But back to Keon, just real quick, I do think the speed right now is an issue. Out of 30 receivers at the combine, he was the slowest receiver at the combine, right, man? I think that I would have liked a little bit more speed for this offense that is lacking speed over the last couple of years. Haven't found that speed guy. So I'm hoping that the Buffalo Bills can just, in some sort of way, either today or in the free agency after the draft, post-draft free agency, they have to find some sort of speed to help out this offense.
Yeah, that's what's needed on that offense. They got to find a speed receiver, somebody that can get down the field. And I like the move. Even though they traded with the Kansas City Chiefs, seems like Brandon Beane only knows Andy Reid and his boys in Carolina. I mean, can't you find somebody else to trade with out of all 32 teams, man, 30 other teams, man, or 31 other teams? Come on, man. But Kansas City always seems to come there. I didn't like Worthy. I've seen him at Texas play. I really didn't like the guy, his style of play. He's a quick guy. He's wide open in college. And those guys who are wide open in college, they usually have trouble in the NFL because you're not wide open in the National Football League. Those guys have trouble making plays. I didn't see him make too many plays in a crowded area on the field. He always seemed to be wide open and running free down the field, and they were hitting him for touchdowns. So I'm not a Worthy fan. Good luck with him in KC. And the moving back from Kansas City, moving back with the Carolina move, that was a good move too. You had to get out of that first round because, as I said earlier, the Buffalo Bills just can't afford a first round player's salary. They can't afford that type of salary right now. They're going 2nd through 7. Watch to see who they pick up, or see if they may even move back a little further in one of these rounds, J-GILLZ, because the money just isn't there. Hey, those undrafted free agents looking real good right now. Look for them right after the draft is over. By tomorrow afternoon, they'll probably have at least 10 of them, 10 undrafted free agents signed to come in to One Bills Drive, come in for the rookie training camp, mini camp, which they call it, a mini camp. Bring those guys in and see which ones of those undrafted free agents they'll invite to training camp at St. John Fisher College. That's how it goes. This is serious business, people. This is, guys, hey, you get a chance, you work out, you get a chance to come in. And remember, the Bills had over 30 guys come in. They had the total amount of rookies come in to the One Bills Drive just to take a look at them, the pre-draft. So they looked at a lot of people. That Mason Smith from LSU, keep an eye on him. Oh, yeah. If he's available, he's a huge guy. He stays injured. He's a nice guy. I met him down there at the LSU Florida game down there. Guy is huge. He could definitely be a prototype replacement for Daquan Jones, or also help out in the middle of that, beef up the middle of that Bills line. So don't be surprised. You see him go defensive line, someone like that Mason Smith from LSU to fill that middle of the hole. And, of course, defensive backs. You know the Bills going to go after some defensive backs later. Bills always seem to come up with guys. Levi Wallace, he just got picked up by a team earlier. Levi Wallace is a guy that came out, undrafted free agent, ended up starting for the Bucs. He started for almost 2 years with the Buffalo Bills. And Leslie Frazier kept saying, why you giving this guy a hard time, man? Just because he wasn't drafted, man. That don't mean the man can't play. And obviously he can play. He just signed. He was with the Steelers. And you know the Steelers, they know good talent. They know good defensive talent for sure. You know, defense is the Steelers thing. So Levi spent a couple years there, and now he just got picked up by another squad this week. Hey, undrafted free agents they're just not the high-profile drafted guys. And there's more undrafted free agents in the Hall of Fame than there are the top draft picks, J-GILLZ.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, fans don't understand that. Fans don't want to hear it, man. See this guy. Say, why is this undrafted guy, the guy the Bills got right now from Villanova? Never heard of it. I didn't even know Villanova had a football team. And the guy, he looks penciled in to start again this year for the Bills. So
the top highest paid receivers right now in the league all were not number one picks. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill. You know, a lot of these high-paid receivers, none of them number one picks.
No.
So there's a value in the draft, and it does not necessarily have to come from a top pick.
Absolutely. Well stated. And before we go, the next segment is sponsored by Challenger Community News, Western New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper, published weekly. I'm the sports editor of Challenger Community News. You can read my articles and commentary in there. We have a nice article on Rochester's Days Affair, who was picked number 16 by the Las Vegas Aces. A lot of good articles on there. Our photographer Anthony Simmons, one of the Challenger photographers, Anthony Simmons, took a trip to Tanzania, an unforgettable visit. Read about his trip to Tanzania. Man, beautiful photos that he sent into the paper as well. Very nice article on Anthony Simmons' trip to Tanzania, and tells about all the great places he went to, Mount Kilimanjaro, and all the different sites that he had to see over in Tanzania. So, J-GILLZ, we got to put that on our travel schedule. We got to get over there. We got to get there to Tanzania for sure. Check that article out. We got a lot of fine in the history. April 29th, 1992, that was the famous Rodney King beat down there by the LA cops. That was a day in Black history. Alnisa Barbara Banks, she always gives us some great Black history and keeps us to remember where we came from and gives us an idea of which way we're going. So check out Challenger Community News each week. Western New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper. Challenger, go to thechallengernews.com. thechallengernews.com. And J-GILLZ, you've been working out because look like you've been working out a little bit because you got that big celebrity softball game coming up May 11th at Innovative Field. I know you got to be ready for that one because our next guest will be coming on shortly to talk about. We're going to have our next guest come on to talk about that shortly. And let me bring in our next guest to talk about it. And legendary basketball player, here he is, legendary basketball player John Wallace joins Real Deal Sports Show. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show, John Wallace, a Rochester legend for sure. How you doing this morning?
All good, my brother. Appreciate you having me on today, man.
Absolutely.
And definitely, how did you get involved in? You're gonna be one of the coaches for the one of the celebrity teams for the celebrity softball tournament at Innovative Field.
Yeah, Joe Lynch reached out to me. We've done some things in the past. He's done some things with a lot of guys in the league, and just anything going on in Rochester, I want to be involved, especially if it's something positive. Giving back to the community. That's something I've always tried to do. So it's just a natural fit to come back and try to hold this event and raise some money for charities.
Exactly. Have you started working on your lineup yet? You're starting to get close. You're starting to get your roster together.
No, I'm gonna tap my inner Joe Torre at some point, and we're gonna be all good. We're gonna play small ball.
Okay. You get your strategy together. Yes, indeed. That grass is a little high out there, so yeah, you could. I think you might be able to get away with that small ball there at Innovative Field, formerly Frontier Field, for our listening audience. So that's on May 11th, Saturday, May 11th. Get your tickets. Come on out to Frontier Field. It's gonna be a great day. You got a lot of celebrities, correct, John? Participating.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun day. A lot of celebrities coming in. We're doing something. Myself, Eric Devendorf, and Latavius Murray. We're doing something the night before, doing a bartending event, which is kind of odd because I don't even drink. So that's gonna be a whole new experience for me. I don't know how to make one drink, so I'll be learning on the fly.
Oh, wow.
Where's that gonna be? Where's that gonna be?
I got to look at the flyer. I'm not even, like I said, I don't drink, so I don't know all the drinking spots in Rochester, honestly, man. I really don't drink.
Make sure you get this back. We'll get it from Joe, and we're going to announce it, let people know to come on out the night before. So that would be Friday, May 10th. Come out to a drinking spot, a nice spot, and yourself. And who else is going to be bartending, John?
Devendorf and Latavius Murray, football player. So it's going to be a great event. It's going to be fun.
Sounds like it. Look forward to it. Look forward to that. And also the game on Saturday at Innovative Field, Saturday, May 11th, starting at 4 p.m. Get there early. I'm sure you could catch batting practice and maybe able to get autographs before the game. I believe Joe Lynch, who's putting this together, said they'll have a time for autographs and sessions before the contest. So make sure you get there early. I believe gates open around 1 or 2 o'clock in the fine event on Saturday, May 11th at Innovative Field. John, wanted to ask you some basketball questions. What do you think is the resurgence of Rochester basketball players making it to the league and just representing the Rock, the 585, not only in high school but college and professional basketball? What do you think is causing this to happen?
Well, Rochester's always been a hotbed for basketball, man, and I would like to think of myself one of the trailblazers in terms of being an NBA guy from Rochester. There's been other guys that played in the NBA from Rochester, but I believe I'm the first guy from the NBA that played in the NBA from Rochester that's actually got the amount of years to get a pension and all that from the NBA. So just trying to blaze that new trail. Now we got Thomas Bryant, Isaiah Stewart, Janathan. We got Jalen Pinkett. Yep, was in the league last year. At one point, we had 5 guys from Rochester in the NBA, and I was anybody who had ears, I was letting them know Rochester was the best basketball city in the United States per capita.
Yes, indeed.
And hopefully the young guys now and the young girls coming up now, they got Deja Fair in the WNBA. So these girls, the boys and girls coming up now, they have someone to look up to try to idolize and emulate. And when you have someone that a player overall, doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna make it to the NBA, but it means you're gonna be able to maximize your potential. And that's really what it's all about. But as far as the resurgence, I don't think there's ever been a lull in Rochester basketball. You know, some guys making some bad decisions, girls making bad decisions, but for the most part, Rochester basketball has been strong. And I always check on all the guys and girls from Rochester, whether they're when they get to college. I'm pretty much checking the box score every game they play in. You know, it's a Rochester thing, man. And you know, I love Upstate, love Rochester, and I love all the players that come out of Rochester. We have a certain style and a certain aggression that we play with, and I love it.
Absolutely.
Yes. Go ahead, J-GILLZ.
And you know, representing for Rochester, you know, we love it, much appreciated. Being a former 18th pick New York Knicks, I want to take it to current day right now. The New York Knicks in this postseason, you know, Jalen Brunson and those guys, what are they going to have to do to make it past MB, who just dropped a 50 piece on one leg? My man is hooping right now. What are the Knicks going to have to do to make it out the first round?
Well, honestly, that whole Joel Embiid, that was a very dirty play. And if that's not a flagrant two, then there's never been a flagrant two committed in the NBA. You can't egregiously grab someone as they're going up on the lower part of their body and could have injured them and maybe ruined his career. I thought that was a very dirty play, and we'll see if some of our guys address that in terms of a hard foul on Joel Embiid. But I'm fully confident in Coach Tibbs and his staff and the players that the Knicks have and the way they've been playing. You know, Joel Embiid had 50. He's going to have to drop 50 every game for them to win. And I just don't think he can do that. And the Knicks are just playing that style of basketball. Everyone
we lost you.
sharing one another. So I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I'm doing a watch party in New York for it.
Oh man! Oh yeah.
Yes. And you mentioned hard foul. You don't see that in the game anymore. Back in your era, it was that hard fouls. Guys played. It was played inside the paint. What's your opinion of playing outside with the 3-point shot being the game now and not the inside game?
Well, it's definitely changed the game and opened up the floor a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead. I think we got you there. Can we hear you? Oh, we can't hear you right now. I think we lost John there. Just the audio. You there? See if we can hear you there.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I think we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Now we can, yes.
All right. So, all right. Say the question again.
Oh, what? Just playing outside, the game being a 3-point game now, a 3-point shooters and not a inside game like it used to be, like when you played. What's your opinion on the change of the game?
It's more about perimeter-oriented game. The 3-point shot has opened up the court, but people get so enamored and caught up with the 3-point shot. Even the best players in the world, the best scorers in the world, are still shooting more mid-range. And the lost art of the mid-range. The best scorers are very efficient from the mid-range. Shai Gilgeous, Kevin Durant, even Luka Doncic. You know, Luka's not just he's not averaging 33 and hitting 11 threes a game. He's hitting a couple threes, but mostly he's getting to the paint and shooting a lot of mid-range shots. So it's still the mid-range game. You still got to have touch. You can't get caught up in the 3-point shot. If you're a good 3-point shooter, shoot them. But if you shoot 30% or less, you probably shouldn't shoot that many threes or ever shoot any threes. But people don't realize they have no self-awareness. Guys are shooting 22% from three and still shooting 19 threes a game. Just makes no sense to me, man.
Exactly, it's bad for the game when you see that, and especially when you can have other options to make it happen. Who do you see winning it this year? Who do you see in the championship round of the NBA playoffs? Well,
I think even though Denver's in the 2 seed in the West, tough. And Jokic is the best player in the world by far. No one's even close to him right now. And it's like you sit there and you watch him, and you're like flummoxed. Like, how's this guy doing it? The slowest guy in the court. He can't jump. He doesn't look like he looks like he's got the ultimate dad body, and he's destroying all these guys who are like supreme athletic specimens, demigods, and he's just destroying them all, taking them all to the back shed, whipping them, and bringing them back and saying who's next. So I think Denver's going to come out the West, even though OKC's looking good and Dallas is looking good right now. But I think I think Denver is going to come out the West just because they have the best player. They've been there before. They have a great coach in Mike Malone. And now the East is I think it's going to come down between Boston, even though they lost to Miami. I think that was just a blip in the road. I think it's going to come down between Boston and New York. And I'm a true New Yorker, man, so it's hard for me to say that Boston can beat us. I like the way that the Knicks are playing right now. I wish we had Julius Randle. I'd be more confident in my New York pick right now, but it's hard for me to pick anyone going against the Knicks right now, especially I think the team is finally coming to their own in terms of knowing everyone knows their role on the Knicks team. Everyone fully is entrenched in their role. And when you have a team like that who knows their role and the way they play, it's going to be tough to beat the Knicks.
You mentioned Dallas. I look at the Clippers. I thought after that game one, no Kawhi, the way Harden came out and ball, Westbrook, the energy that he always brings, I thought that they would have a much better chance. But it seems like their opportunity is dwindling down. What is it about the Clippers with a great head coach and Ty Lue, great pieces? Why aren't they getting it done, in your opinion?
It's not just the Clippers, man. It's the changing of the guard. The new guys are taking over. It's good as Kawhi and Paul George and those guys are, and they're really good, obviously, perennial all-star. Luka Doncic's a little bit better. Irving's a little bit better. And, when you're going against these young guys, Jokic, they're all in their late 20s. They're coming into the prime of their career. When you're going against LeBron and Kevin Durant, those guys are at the tail end of their career. And you just can't muster up enough energy. You don't have enough vigor to go against those guys. You need that necessary amount of verve to go against those young guys who are just flying up and down the court, who have this youthful and exuberance going through their veins right now. It's going to be hard to beat the young guys. There's definitely a passing of the guard, and we're seeing it as it happens in real time in the play.
All right, with John Wallace, Rochester legend. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. And people, get your tickets. It's only $10, $15 tickets, so it's very reasonable, very family-friendly pricing. Come out May 11th to Innovative Field for the celebrity softball game. John Wallace, I know you said small ball. You got your game plan. You're starting to put it together. I can tell your team is going to be ready. We had Tim Redding on last week, so I know he's the head coach of the other team. So you guys are going to do a fine job and make it happen. And we want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on Real Deal Sports Show.
Yes,
and Quick told me to tell you hello as well. You have yourself a great day. All right, everybody. That was John Wallace, Syracuse University, also New York Knicks legend. I tell you, he had a great basketball. Almost took Syracuse to the championship. Before Carmelo Anthony, there was John Wallace, and they almost won. I never forget that championship game, that Final Four game. John Wallace did all he could to help Syracuse win it. It just wasn't meant to be on that Final Four game back in the day. But he's one of our own. He, like he said, is continuing to grow basketball here in the Rochester marketplace. So glad to see. He's one of the guys that started and continued to grow even today. And I didn't realize he's the first guy to get his pension from the NBA. So, hey, you learn something new on Real Deal Sports Show every week. We're learning as well.
7 seasons. He did his thing, mainly East Coast, from the Knicks to the Raptors to the Detroit Pistons, Miami Heat. So he definitely did his thing. Trailblazer, like you said, for the Rochester community area for sure.
Absolutely. And we're going to get our Our defensive back guru is here. Carl Jones, WROC TV8, Channel 8 sportscaster. Carl Jones, welcome back to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing this morning?
Man, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I'm blessed. I've been good, man. Just it's a busy weekend with obviously the draft and the Amherst game won last night. So sleep, that's not, we ain't getting a lot of sleep these days. But you know what? At this point, who cares? I'm having fun. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. Yeah, saw you. Great job of coverage of the Amherst last night. So I know it's a quick turnaround for you. Who would have thought in a small market like Rochester, you have playoff hockey, Bills, you have a lot going on in such a small market.
For real though, but the playoff hockey, as y'all know, when it's good hockey here this time of year, it gets turned up a notch, and it's actually fun to watch. I mean, as a kid, I couldn't tell you anything about hockey. I just know that when the puck went in the net, it meant a goal. Now I know a little bit more, and it's actually fun to watch when the intensity gets ramped up for sure.
Absolutely. And Bills, what's your take on the Bills selection so far? The picks with Keon, Coleman, Cole Bishop, and Dewayne Carter so far.
Yeah, I would say they targeted 3 positions of need, especially in terms of the long-term future. Obviously, they needed a receiver, period. Like, they just need numbers there. I think they only had like 3 rostered. You needed a long-term safety. I believe Mike Edwards and Taylor Rapp are both on 1-year deals. And then the same for the defensive tackle position, where you have Ed Oliver on the contract, but outside of him, you don't have any other bodies long-term going into 2025 and beyond. So that was clearly an emphasis. They wanted some youth and some long-term players there. But starting with Keon Coleman, he's definitely the most polarizing player in the process. I remember him back at Michigan State, so 2 years prior, where he was a basketball player as well as a football player. And the first thing that pops out when you watch him, he has his catch radius. He's a dunk artist, and that's his calling card. Sometimes, though, as we've all watched football over our entire lives, players who rely on that is a little boom or bust. You think of the high end, you think of a DeAndre Hopkins, right? You think of a guy who lives in that world of playing basketball on the field, and it's beautiful to watch at times. But on the other end, those players who live in that world, it's hard for them to be consistent. You think of a
Gabe Davis,
a Gabe Davis. You think of a Devontae Parker, right, for the Patriots. You think of an Allen Robinson on the back end of his career. You think of players of that magnitude. You're like, man, where are the 50-50 catches now? So it's definitely a polarizing player. It's exciting because it's nothing that the Bills have had in recent memory. Like, I'm not the biggest Bills fan, but I can say going back 10 years, they haven't had a player who literally his best trait is one-on-one. I'm not going to get open, but throw me the ball because I'm still open type of player. So it's definitely an interesting draft from that perspective for sure.
Oh, wow.
That is. That's a good point. And now, now here we are, final day of the draft, going from 4 through 7. What do you see? I see defensive backs got to be on the side of the Buffalo Bills. What do you see happening in today's draft?
Oh, listen, as a former DB, I can always find a reason to draft some DBs. All right, we can have a starting lineup, reserves, and I can still convince myself that they need defensive backs. Don't worry, they can always use some DBs. But all jokes aside, though, they could obviously use some more depth there as well. DeMar Hamlin's on his last year of his deal, so maybe you want to infuse some more youth there. You can always use cornerbacks with Kyer Elam maybe not being the player that you expected when you drafted him 2 years ago. So after drafting another player, you obviously lost Dane Jackson to free agency. So once again, it's infusing more youth at that position. I still think receiver is probably a position that they target as well. Not necessarily for a starter at this point, but someone that you hope we're throwing darts at this point, right? So we're hoping that one of these darts that we hit pops into something like a Terrell Bernard a few years ago, like a Christian Benford or a Dane Jackson years before that. So at this point, you want these players to become stars, and you're very hopeful that's the case, but you're really banking on them just being quality depth pieces, maybe a starter, and then clear on special teams. So a couple players, though, I know I didn't answer your question. Troy Franklin out of Oregon, he's a receiver, slender frame, more of your deep threat. Javon Baker out of Central Florida, another player who was boomer bust. I actually liked him a lot during the draft process. Surprised that he's still here. And then people are going to love this one. Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice, out of US. Yeah, he is still on the board right now. He's going to come off rather quickly. So those 3 players, I would say, watch out for those names and look at them on the bottom of the ticker and see when they come off.
Yeah, I did get to see Jerry Rice's son play a couple games there because they always going to show him and Jerry Rice during the game and all that. And I thought he was all right. You take Jerry Rice out the equation and say, this young man is this guy, this is him. Let's watch this kid, and he does. He shows that he can run good routes, and he's somebody that you can build upon. So yeah, thank you. That's always good. And on the defensive back side, who do you see? Do you have any guys you think the Bills might be able to pick up?
Yeah, there was a player actually, and I watched him because of Syracuse and the ACC connection. But Malik Mustafa, excuse me, he was a smaller safety from Wake Forest. I figured he would be a day 3, round 4 and beyond player based off of his athletic profile. He's not the biggest guy on the planet, but he's physical, and I got a soft spot for those guys who are reckless abandonment, throwing their face in the fan, and like whatever happens at the end of the day happens. He plays football that way. So that's one player who I've got my eye on, see where he'll land up. Cam Hart, another player that played at Notre Dame, taller guy, but I like his athletic ability at that size. Maybe a little stiff, and that's probably why he's still here in round 4. And it hurts me to give Notre Dame any compliments. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I don't care about nothing. Michigan and Notre Dame, don't really like them at all. But I got to give the players their flowers whenever the case may be, and Cam Hart is one of them. Taller guy, I think around like 6'2". He's still on the board as well. So those are all guys that the Bills could target and bring them into the building, and hopefully they will be something much more than obviously just a name on a Wikipedia page 3 years from now.
Absolutely. And I noticed you were at the Bills war room on Friday night. What was the feeling there when the Bills because the reality of the whole thing is the Bills that don't have the money. They don't have the money for a first round pick. If they did use it, they would hurt them on the back end. So they chose to get out of the first round and spend their money where more affordable because they have less money. They got the Tre'Davious money, white money coming after June 1st. That 10 mil comes back, as J-GILLZ mentioned earlier. What was the overall impression when that took place Friday night?
The first reaction everyone had was, y'all serious? Them? Nah, no way. Really them? Like, nah. Like seriously, the social media reaction, everyone's reaction. Trading up or down was always a possibility. Brandon Beane told us that the week prior, but it was just that it was with the Chiefs. And then obviously the player that it ended up being was a player who was very polarizing in his own right. He ran the fastest 40-yard dash in NFL history, but he's 165 pounds. He has the weight of a junior high kid. So like all of that stuff is kind of unique. And that was the reaction we all had, where it's like, we get it, but them? And so now that you have more time to digest it, you realized why they went in that direction. And Xavier Worthy is nothing like Keon Coleman, so you understand why the Bills maybe went in that direction. But yeah, it was definitely we had the same reaction like the rest of y'all. The Chiefs? Nah, y'all not serious. So that's kind of what the vibes were.
Yeah, I love the expression not on your face or Thad Brown, especially, and then people in the background. You can see some of the other media, the Vic Carucci's. They're like, "Why the hell I spent gas to come all the way out here for this, man?" That's what it looks like. When I see Vic, I gotta tell him, man, he's looking really pissed off,
man. Yeah, I didn't get home till 4:30. So like long day just for us to say they ain't got nobody yet. Like that was what really hurt. I ain't gonna lie.
And that's a heck of a drive, man, too. Go out there just to say that. But that was funny. It had me cracking up, man, when I saw that back on Thursday night. But, hey, the Bills look like they're going to make some things. Anything in closing? Because I know you have to go to anything coming up? How people can stay in contact with you, Carl? How can they follow you?
You can find me on Jones11_ on Twitter or X, whatever they want to call it these days. I don't know, clearly. But in the coming days, probably today, to be honest, with the Bills drafting a safety and drafting some DBs, I'm going to give my analysis, give you my thoughts on what this player brings to the table, give you some quick hitters on their safety they drafted. He's a versatile player. They're going to use him all over the field. He's not necessarily the archetype of a center fielder or anyone. He's not Ed Reed. No one's Ed Reed. But like that same archetype of a player who's going to live in the deep post and just go sideline to sideline. That's not his forte, and I don't think the Bills will use him that way. But he's someone who's best used stylistically like Jordan Poyer, where they ask Jordan Poyer to be near the line of scrimmage a lot, put your face in the fan, be a little dirty, be a little gritty, things of that nature. I think that's what they'll ask this kid out of Utah. and I'll have some clips later today in the coming days, quite frankly, that shows that for sure.
Oh, wow.
And quickly on Penix, were you surprised that Penix went to Atlanta at number 8?
Oh, whatever my reaction was to the Chiefs trading with the Bills, amplified by 15 when Michael Penix went off the board at number 8. It was one of the more shocking moves I've ever seen. Like, I remember last year when Jahmyr Gibbs went to the Lions and then they followed him up with Jack Campbell. You're like, running back and linebacker in the first round? Y'all serious? This the 80s? No. That was 10 times more. The Penix move was 10 times more shocking. Hey, man, we don't judge draft moves on draft day. Hopefully it looks better 3-4 years from now. I'll tell you one thing. Culturally, Michael Penix will be a great fit for the city of Atlanta, more so than Kirk Cousins. So, yeah, man, it looks weird in the moment, but I don't get paid millions of dollars to make that decision. So it's what it is.
Absolutely. And it was very interesting for them to make that move. I thought that's more of an indictment on Kirk Cousins. He's old. He's coming off an Achilles injury. You don't even know if he can make it through the season. And usually he does kind of tail off as you get closer to the end of the season in his play. So, hey, the future is now for Atlanta. Hey, they may not have a chance to be at number 8 again. They don't expect to be that high in the draft in the future. So, hey, get if you like a guy, like a quarterback, get him now. I thought that was an excellent move by them to fortify their future. Say, at least we have somebody. We're not out here searching the waiver wire trying to grab a quarterback to finish the season for us. So excellent move. We look forward to it as well, following you as well. Carl Jones, WROC TV Channel 8. Thank you for coming on Real Deal Sports Show, and we look forward to having you back again real soon.
No, thank y'all. The pleasure is mine. Y'all stay blessed out here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. And the comments are just, boy, we got a lot. You can tell football is big because we got a lot of comments here. The Internet Passport is what really went in on Keon Coleman, saying that he's slow. 20-pound defensive lineman ran faster 40s than him. Jason Jackson says, I'm rocking with Coleman. He'll play his role in the offense. He would have caught that pass that Diggs dropped, though. That's what he's saying. That guy. James Cochran, Black Media Matters. Thank you, James Cochran, for that comment. Another person said Bills need running back, wide receiver, DBs, and linebackers. I agree with you on there because we got that too short guy, Terrell Bernard, out there. But
yeah, I was thinking too.
Yeah, the Bills need to pick up somebody, get them a linebacker that's a little bit sturdier than that guy for sure. But thank you for your comments. Keep your comments coming in, and we appreciate your commenting on the show here, Real Deal Sports Show, so we can get your information and let people know what you're saying on the show. So remember, like us, subscribe, check us out regularly. Like, subscribe, hit the button on YouTube if you watch YouTube, or if you're catching us live, catch us live each week. J-GILLZ, your comments on Penix or anything else in the draft that surprised you so far?
Man, quite frankly, Redman, I thought that Michael Penix was one of the better quarterbacks in the draft. We talk about his accuracy, his pinpoint accuracy. I do feel like Atlanta that was a stretch right there. And not just with Michael Penix, but if you look, 6 quarterbacks taken over the first 12 picks. To me, that was a lot of reaching. Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, and Michael Penix. To get these guys inside the top 15, to me, was a little bit of it was too much. It was too much. But I guess when you pinpoint a guy that you want, you got to go out and get him. But when I look at these last couple of picks, whether it's a Mac Jones or a Trey Lance or Zach Wilson, I'm just not going to put that much stock into a quarterback first round, especially when you got a guy like Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, going to the Super Bowl. So to me, it was a little bit of a stretch to get those guys so early when you got a lot of impact players that were available. The first 15 picks were all offense. I thought Atlanta could have definitely benefited from a guy like a Leatu out of UCLA, Dallas Turner out of Alabama, Jared Verse, Keon Coleman school, and then even Chop Robinson, who the Dolphins were able to get. I think that they could have definitely got a little bit more depth. And you see these teams that are truly, truly building a team like the Seahawks, they're taking the best players available. They went and got Witherspoon last year with their first round pick. This year they got the defensive tackle Byron Murphy. So they're really building in the trenches, getting those guys, those value picks, and not reaching for a quarterback. Because as you reach for a quarterback and you don't have anybody to get them the ball, that's ultimately going to be a problem if you don't have a receiver for these guys to throw to. And in the case of most of these guys, like a Bo Nix, for example, out of the Broncos, he has no skills positions. Cortland Sutton, he's holding out right now. They traded Jerry Jeudy. They've got the running backs, but ultimately you can't have a quarterback and not have a team around them. So in the case of Michael Penix, I get it, but it was still a reach to me.
Yeah, and keep in mind the general manager, Terry Fontenot of the Atlanta Falcons, he came from New Orleans. He was in New Orleans for many years in the front office, and he saw Drew Brees a lot. And this guy does kind of remind me of Drew Brees, a little undersized, but he can drop back, and he has a rocket arm. He can get the ball down the field. So maybe he said, "Man, I like this kid." And they got it. They fortified their offensive line. They have the Robinson, the running back. They have Kyle Pitts, who I think people saying he a bust, but how can you be a bust when you don't have a quarterback? Mm-hmm. You had that joker that should have been in the USFL starting. I won't even say his name again because I done trashed the man so many. I'm sorry. He's a nice young man, but he shouldn't have been in the National Football League as your starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. How can you say Kyle Pitts is a bust and he hasn't had a quarterback? Now you get him a decent quarterback. Now you can see Kyle Pitts. You have the Landon kid. They have some good receivers and running backs. They have some good offensive weapons. Now they got a true NFL quarterback. And Kirk Cousins, and then you can see what Penix can do. I think that was a good move by them, even though they didn't get another defensive player, a high-end defensive player. Maybe they'll get somebody today, get some quality guys. Because Terry Fontenot, I think that's what he was looking at, more of a Drew Brees type guy. See what he could get in there to help fortify the lineup. In closing, we're going to roll. We only got a couple minutes left. The award-winning Marion Rivera Insurance Agency. Keep in mind, home health, auto, and life insurance. Make sure you check our friend of the show out, Marion Rivera Insurance, Farmers Insurance, Progressive. She carries a full line of insurance for you. She's the award-winning Marion Rivera Insurance Agency, auto, home health, and life insurance. 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call, area code 585-360-0094. And thank you for people calling outside the area. She's working with some of y'all too, so she can continue and she can save y'all a hell of a lot of money too, just like she saved me and my family a hell of a lot of money. So check Marion Rivera out. That sister knows she knows insurance. That she got trophies. Wouldn't you want to go with somebody that's award-winning? Right?
Every time. And, right now with the way the world is going, you need insurance, whether it's natural disaster, whether it's somebody going crazy up on your house or your property, you need insurance right now, y'all. So check out Marion Rivera for the best insurance in the town.
There you go, because people driving cars wildly all over, man. You don't know what may happen, but keep up the good work. NBA, anything surprising you in the NBA playoffs,
J-GILLZ? This first round has been explosive. If anybody caught the game last night, Damian Lillard and the Milwaukee Bucks taking on Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers, that was a phenomenal game. Unfortunately, the Bucks weren't able to get it done. Dame, man, I'm telling you, if they somehow don't make it out the first round, it's going to be real tough for them. And I'm hearing that Damian Lillard could be on the move yet again. But I wish Giannis was able to play, because I'm telling you right now with primetime Dame and a healthy Giannis, I think this team could have easily made it out the East with that championship experience. That they're still big team. Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis and those guys. Man, I just wish that Giannis was available. But I think the big story is tonight, are the Lakers going to find a will and finally not get them broomsticks out by Jokic and the Jokers and the Nuggets? Because right now, 8:30 prime time, it might be broom time in LA. And that's going to be real tough, back-to-back sweeps at home.
Just like the Bills can't beat Kansas City, it seems like the Lakers can't beat the Denver Nuggets in the NBA. They just can't. That game, too, where the guy fell and made the shot at the buzzer to beat the Lakers. The Lakers, to me, played their best game in game 2. That was their game. If the Lakers would have won that game, the series would be a little bit different right now, because they would have the confidence. They don't beat them. They beat them in Denver. They would have beaten them in Denver. But that last second shot, you can see you can just see it on the Lakers' body language. It just took the air out of them for game 3 at home. And they look, and they won D'Angelo Russell not going into the huddle and everything, man. You got guys jumping ship before the D'Angelo, this game is not over, man. The season isn't over. You got to get in the huddle with your team.
Because he posted a donut in a must-win game 3 at home. So he ain't even played, as far as I'm concerned. He couldn't even get to a point. So I mean, come on, man. So hopefully tonight they can try and get something done because this is a hot take right now. But if the Lakers lose, I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron James jumps ship.
Yeah, I don't blame him playing with the guys that don't even want to get in the huddle, man. And then you don't want to get on the court and do your thing, man. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, I don't blame LeBron, man. If his son gets drafted by somebody, he may end up with that squad. I don't blame him. The man's earned the right. He done played 20 excellent years of basketball. I mean, his game hasn't really fallen off that much at all in the 20 years, and that's unheard of. Somebody playing for 20 years. Of a vigorous sport like professional basketball, traveling, the hotels, the air flights, being on the planes late at night, getting into the next city 4 or 5 in the morning, going to the hotel, getting some sleep, going to shoot around in the afternoon, then playing the game. People don't realize it's an awful lot of wear and tear on your body between airplanes, hotels, playing the game. It's a lot you got to do to be able, and my hat's off to LeBron James, man, for 20 years, 19, 20 years of doing this. And he's been playing since high school or elementary school or something. Oh, man, his knees. I mean, what kind of body he has that he's able to still withstand the test of time. He's just amazing. He's amazing to be able to do that. Who do you see playing in the championship? Who do you see making it?
Man, I had the Clippers, but, man, no, the way that the Nuggets are looking right now, man, I don't think anybody's going to be able to beat them. People are saying Dallas, as John Wallace said, but I don't think they have enough. They don't have enough, in my opinion. They have Luka, an elite player, MVP. They have Kyrie, champion tested. But when you got the Denver Nuggets, man, that's like the Monstars over there. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. It's just too much. It's too much. They've done it before. They're young, and their windows is actually closing, believe it or not. After next season, this year and next year, their best chances. After next season, you got Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., or Aaron Gordon, one of the two, both free agents. Jamal Murray, you're not going to be able to keep that same team. So their window is closing. They have to get it done now if they want to be in that dynasty conversation.
I'd love to see Murray with the Raptors coming back home to Toronto with the Raptors to finish his career or continue his career with the Raptors. Because Raptors just need a couple more with Siakam. I love Siakam, and he's playing great with the Indiana Pacers, doing very well. Enjoy the NBA action. BacSpin. I know it, man. We got a lot going on, right? BacSpin, Mr. Cowboy. Was that you in the war room with Jerry and them slapping Jerry up for that job? I said, damn, was that BacSpin, man? What are you doing in Dallas, man?
Nah, that wasn't me, but I'm not mad with our pick. You know what I mean? Hey, the guy's 6'7". You know what I'm saying? We definitely need a offensive tackle. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the big guy is going to bring to the table. Maybe Dak could stop running for his life now.
Exactly. Yeah. At least you have time to count that $60 million, right?
Right. Yeah. And then the rumor mill has it that we're getting ready to take Zeke back.
Okay.
So, I like that.
Yeah, we should have never got rid of him in the first place, man.
Mm-hmm. No, it hasn't been the same. You can see that the running game is not the same without him.
Word. Yeah. But, we going to see. The draft isn't over. Still got another day, to finish this thing up. And, season, it's crazy how quick the season ends and how quick it begins. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Spring training is right around the corner. I'm just looking forward to more football coming up in the preseason in August. So,
oh yeah,
same here, because you got your OTAs coming up pretty soon. Then the mini camp in May is OTAs in June mini camp, and then next you know they back at St. John Fisher. It's like, wow, where'd the year go? Man, no off season, so it should be a good one. And we look forward to your show coming up. I know you're ready to get it in and make it happen this Saturday morning for all of us.
Yes, sir. You know how we do it. The Bag of Time Mix Show is on the way. Appreciate you, J-GILLZ, Rad Man, fanatic out there somewhere. I know he's doing his thing. And, talking sports of all sorts every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. right here on the B1055. You guys have a great, great weekend, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You too.
Well, take care.
Yes, sir. Keep it where you need it, Rock City. The Bag of Time Mix Show is on the way right here on the B.